The NFL Draft is about 6 weeks away. This event could be the largest event in Las Vegas history. With more on the draft and what it's all about, Ron Futrell joins us now with the NFL Draft 101.
I do like that new open we have there for us. Pretty good. Okay. Now we're going to take some time here every Tuesday night between now and draft day to talk about what the draft is, how to understand it, and explain it, and tell you exactly what the NFL has planned for Las Vegas beginning April 23rd.
With the fourth pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Cleveland Futrell, defensive end, Clemson.
First of all, everything is dependent upon the coronavirus. Could they hold the draft without fans? Well, certainly. They've done it many times before.
Now, the first NFL draft was held in Philadelphia in 1936. The Eagles and some other teams at the time complained that the best players were going to the best teams, so the league came up with a plan to let the worst teams choose first. The plan they have is still in place today. The draft was important, but almost invisible back then, until the 1980s. Then the draft was held at a New York hotel, the Sheraton, for the first time. It was broadcast on TV, that new TV network called ESPN. In the 90s, it moved to Madison Square Garden, and crazed fans were allowed to watch. And then in the 2000s, the site was Radio City Music Hall. By 2010, more people were watching, and the draft was moved to prime time, competing with all the best shows on TV, and it actually held its own against CSI and Survivor. Then, after 65 years in New York City, the 2015 draft was moved to Chicago. Why? Because the NFL figured out that it could make money off cities bidding for the draft and paying for the product. Well, it worked tremendously. Last year, they estimate that 600,000 people showed up in Nashville to watch the draft, and even more are expected here in Las Vegas, April 23rd through 25th. Now, the festivities will be exciting, of course, here in town, but the draft itself is actually pretty boring, of course. Just a couple of teams picking players. Unless you're a fan of one of those big teams, then it's very special and very important to you. Then the draft means everything because, well, it's one of the main factors on how your team plays on Sundays. So here we go. We'll check out the draft, see what happens there. Everything, of course, coronavirus pending. We have to add that in there, Brian, don't we?
That's true, yes. Ron. Yeah. And not boring for the families of those players.
Oh,
they are sitting on the edge of their seats, and they are amped up. Thanks for